Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot Convention with a weekly comic book roundup. We're about to the midway point, so let's kick things off with Black Panther number 5. Where we left off, the gang war near T'Chaka was heating up after a deathlock attacked a wedding that was supposed to unite one of the families with another moneyed family. So the issue opens. An assassin is taking aim at the head of one of the families, but T'Challa prevents that assassination and begins working on going through all the information that he gathered from the wedding, stopping various attempts to make the gang war even worse. Taking down a gang of former Hatab Zarazi, making a point of saying, yeah, I'm leaving you alive, and here's how it's going to be. There's going to be a ceasefire. They will end the extortion of the city, and they will be thankful that T'Challa let them live. The beginnings of a ceasefire are put into place. While T'Challa is attempting to figure out how to actually help. Yes, he asked for more information on Kiva Ma, but is again turned away for the Black Panther makes it to the house of the other crime family. Taking out guards, but though there was also an attempt by the initial family to broker a ceasefire in the way of you quit, we take over. However, Kiva Ma appears to the crime boss, and that is where the issue ends. Interesting. Kiva Ma is definitely living up to the reputation he's beginning to garner from the previous issues. Well, definitely be assumed that Kiva Ma is a mystical, if not extra-dimensional entity. So, moving on, to our next book, we've got Captain Marvel: Dark Tempest, number 4. Where we left off, Nada had powered up the kids that had been brought into space with Carol, as well as the scientist Blake. The kids and Blake had become her Feral 5. She'd also basically tossed Carol into slung a kid into a black hole, and Carol managed to get out. So she takes on Nada. However, it turns out that Not as cybernetics don't entirely mesh with her body. And after taking a few hits from Carol, she is greatly weakened. Nitro steps in to stop Carol from finishing Nada off, while the Feral Five continue their exploration of the planet and their attempt to, seemingly dominate it. Blake is proving to be more of a loner than the others, while the rest are more than happy to work together. But the Feral Five managed to, somewhat domesticate a couple of the larger animals. Not as badly injured, and Carol manages to convince the Blake bot to help her. Though it does seem that as Blake programmed Blake bot basically with his own personality, that Blake and the Blake bot have questionable views on consent. Back on Earth, Jess and some of Carol's friends have piled into a rocket and head out into space to go save Carol and the kids. Carol finds the kids, and they promptly attack her, not wanting to go back to the way things were. But Blake is injured. Blake bot comes to seemingly to his rescue, but saving him is likely going to merge the two of them. So Carol and the kids step in, and the Blake bot states it's picking all bots that it's connected to, including the computer of the rocket that Carol's would-be rescuers are in. And that is where the issue ends. Interesting. I have to note the fact that Nada is being very broad and vague in her means of explaining her past. Rather surprising. Figures she'd have some detailed backstory to deliver, but not really. Just the planet was used as a dumping ground for toxic waste by Earth companies. That toxic waste messed with the planet, and since Nada and her family were poor, well, they couldn't hide from underground, and Nada was affected. Moving on, though, to our next book, we've got Red Goblin number 9. Where we left off, Normie and Rascal had bonded. After Normie killed and Rascal killed Phil Urich, this has brought Rascal more so to his grandfather Norman's attention, and so Rascal's going out after Normie. There's a news report about what's been happening in the series so far, being watched by one of Normie's classmates and his parents. They don't have the highest of opinions of the Osborns, thinking of it as new money. And surely their public schools would be just fine for Normie. Maybe in Jersey or Staten Island. But Rascal shows up at the house, attacks the kid, but the kid has a dog. Elsewhere, Normie's classmate Tim Anders is being questioned by Detective Samuels, who's curious as to who wants to know what happened, including, since Tim's an orphan, why was he grabbed by the Goblin Nation? Tim simply states, well, they probably saw the private school uniform and figured I was a walking ATM. Norman's asking members of the Goblin Nation, or interrogating members of the Goblin Nation about their recent run with Rascal, stating that the creature seemed to want to make the people who hurt Normie, well, to hurt them. Rascal's taking a trip down memory lane with Normie, seeing the death of Harry's father, or of Normie's father, Harry, and Rascal goes to the cemetery that Harry's buried in an attempt to attack Harry, but Norman shows up and says, and realizes that Rascal doesn't understand the difference between living and dead, which Norman also tries to explain to him. Norman tries to separate Rascal from Normie, but it doesn't entirely work, with Rascal hiding underneath Harry's body. Before sneaking its way out and using another tombstone to hit Norman. Two of them fight, and Normie tells Rascal that Rascal's making him sad. And so Rascal says maybe they should be separated. And they have to find their maker. Dylan Brock awakes with a start, talking to the Venom symbiote, stating that he knows he should have listened to what the symbiote said. Well, he needed to take a chance. But if it comes, he'll do what needs to be done if it comes to it. And that is where the issue ends. I get the feeling the series is getting close to wrapping up as well. But we'll see. So far, I'm liking the book. I like the idea of kind of exploring the concept of, basically bad pets, bad owners, and maybe kind of you can try to be a good owner for a pet, but that doesn't necessarily mean the pet's going to be good. Moving on, though, to our last one for the moment, we've got Strange Academy, Amazing Spider-Man. Wrapping up the Strange Academy one-shot series. Story Solve for X. Where we left off, another world mathematician named Equation showed off a new form of mathematics, Enchantimatics. And probably trapped most of the Strange Academy students within the book of Enchantimatics. German was able to get them out of the book with the help of Miles Morales. Meanwhile, Doyle and Shaley, who had become lackeys of Equation, tried to get Moon Knight to surrender the eyes of Horus and forsake Khonshu. Moon Knight saw through Equation's tricks and nearly defeated Equation before being stripped of his powers. And Doyle and Shaley would then be with the eyes of Horus, giving them the power of the Egyptian pantheon. The other students managed to recapture Shaley, but Equation's grip on her proved to be rather strong. But we pick up where that left off, with Shaley attacking the others. A vision of the Egyptian god Sobek attacks the book of Enchantimatics, and the book seemingly eats him. Shaylee is freed from the from Equation's control, and realizing that Doyle is also involved, and so they have to do something about it. Spider-Man knows Peter Parker knows something's up. He sees Doyle and Equation at Sanctorum. Apparently, there are various wards that prevent Equation from entering. There's a riddle that needs to be solved, though. The first part is easy. In the time is neither night nor day, so both eyes of horror so to be destroyed, for they represent night and day, the day and night. To enter simply cease to be, your non-existence is the key. And apparently, there's an ontological constant, namely the phenomenological constant, which is explained by Equation as being similar to ergo cogito sum. Ergo cogito sum. I think, therefore I am. All matter, even mindless matter, thinks it exists. If it stops, even for a second, it ceases to be. What if someone else could think you exist for you? What if you think, therefore I am? Death would cease to have power over someone then. For the first time ever, Equation would know true freedom. All he needs is someone else to assert his ontological constant in their minds, so they can maintain his existence for him. Doyle has figured out the ontological constant. However, during this conversation, Equation realizes that Doyle is no longer under his control. And Doyle tries to talk him down, but Equation's not exactly having it. And seemingly destroys Doyle and takes the remaining eye when Shaylee arrives, backed up invisibly by the other by Strange Academy's librarian, as well as her fellow students and Miles Morales. The remaining eye of course is taken from her. Equation finds a workaround. Gets into the sanctum and tries to basically destroy the Vishanti. But German's still inside the Book of Enchantimatics and uses that to fact to stop German when a giant image of Spider-Man shows up, and apparently Spider-Man's been kind of flipping through it, and he jokingly asked where was the book when he was in grad school. It seems to be a standoff between Equation, Spider-Man, and the students when Doctor Strange arrives, and Equation is defeated. German returned from the book. Doyle is also returned, with German having sacrificed some of his teeth in order to do so. A week later, Zelma, the school librarian, is tendering her resignation to the Strange Academy. Everything happens her fault, but Dr. Wu isn't having it, neither are the students. And so, Dr. Wu simply tells the students that if they want Zelma to stay, they're gonna have to convince her. And she does admit that someone needs to have to shell doing a library acquisition in the right place, seeing as how the school is now in possession of the Big Book of Enchantimatics. That is where the series of one-shots ends. It's a fun little group of one-shots. It was admittedly, it was a little odd to see a Moon Knight-centered one-shot that wasn't written by Jed McKay, but still, not bad, not bad. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed all three of them. The concept of Enchantimatics is kind of neat. Basically, math to explain magic. That's actually kind of cool. It does also remind me of the saying that promptly pops up in sci-fi fantasy that any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. Anyways, that's going to do it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Mastodon, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off saying, live long and rock hard.